Today, I'm trying to figure out why is the Roma getting such a bad rap. The design isn't aggressive enough, it's too comfortable, it's lost its pedigree history, people don't like the haptic touch buttons, the prices have tanked. We're on our way to pick one up now. I want to see, is it really all doom and gloom? If you don't know much about the Ferrari Roma, let me get you up to speed. In 2019, Ferrari revealed something different. A car that wasn't just about speed or lap times or the usual drama we expect from Ferrari. This was something different. The Roma, a front-engine Grand Tourer designed to be elegant, understated, and most importantly, usable. It was Ferrari reaching back to its 1960s heritage, trying to capture the spirit of what they call dolce vita, the sweet life. The idea was simple: make a Ferrari that could bring in a new kind of buyer, someone who wanted the badge, the beauty, but without the intimidation factor of a track-focused supercar. But here's the thing, the Roma never really became that car. For all of its design and ambition, it struggled to stand out, it struggled to define itself, and quietly slipped into a strange place in Ferrari's lineup. So why didn't it work? And more importantly, is everything people say about the Ferrari Roma true? So when we're looking at bringing in Ferrari stock, there's important things to look at for us. One, ideally we want it under manufacturer's warranty. They're mileage sensitive, so we want a nice low mileage example, and they're very spec dependent. The obvious things, colour, wheels. People like a lot of carbon fibre on Ferraris. Usually in the boot there'll be a little plaque which explains what's been specified by the factory on the new car. So when we get there, we'll open the boot, run through the spec and see what our thoughts are on this one. Ferrari took a risk with the Roma. They changed lanes, so to speak, and whenever Ferrari releases a new car, the Ferrari purists will have opinions. Big ones. And the Roma didn't just get a few, it got plenty. No screaming V12, just a turbo V8. Too expensive for what it is, too soft, too feminine. Not a real Ferrari. But those are just words. Here's the reality. When the Roma first launched back in 2019, it wasn't cheap. Base price was around about 170 grand. And with a bit of spec, some cars list at well over 200 grand. But a few years on, things look very different. Today, you can find a used Roma for around about 130 grand. That is a huge saving off list, and arguably represents great value. Possibly better value than a 911. That depreciation makes it one of the most affordable ways into modern Ferrari ownership. Because prices have dropped, it's opened the door to a completely new Ferrari owner. Because the Roma was never made to break lap records, it's a GT, a daily driver, a Ferrari you can actually live with. So, now could actually be the perfect time to buy one. Is it going to start? It's not going to start, is it? It's flat.
Hello.
It's not even unlocking. I think it's flat as a pancake, this. Before we pick up this Roma, we ran a car vertical check to make sure the car was fully legit, never written off or had any nasty history that we need to be aware of. Thankfully, the car is clean, so we actually got our credit refunded as the car vertical check didn't flag anything. The last thing you want to do is go out and buy a car like this Aston Martin Vantage. I can see on the car vertical check, this car has been previously marked as scrap. When I scroll through the check, I can actually see photos from last time it was auctioned off. So to check your car, a friend's car, or a car you're potentially about to buy, click the link in the description and use our code WARFORDCARS to get 20% off. It really helps when you use our code so we can make the best videos possible for you guys.
That's an issue then.
Yeah.
Can you not, is it not near a wall and he's got his thing in his charge pack in the back?
Can't see any plugs around. See if we can get into it. Hood up with a Ferrari alarm going off. It's not a good look, is it? That's an absolute turn up for the books. The key wasn't working at all to wake it up. Sometimes you find these cars go to sleep a little bit. So we managed to get in using the key blade. Braking attempt, press to close. Door open, press to close. So what mileage have we got here? 8,400 miles. I really did think we were going home without this car then. It's obviously not been moved for a while. just warming up now. It's got a bit of fuel in it. Should we have a look at the spec plate in the back?
Yeah.
Right, we've got 2 rows here. So Nero Daytona, that's your colour with the paint code. Interior, can't say that, I'm not going to try to. Matt's Nero, that's black. Apple CarPlay, black brake calipers. Exterior still in carbon. Carbon fibre steering wheel with LEDs, that's the little lights that come up to the steering wheel. For scooter rear shields, that's a really nice option. So you have to spec these don't come as standard on the car, so if you spec scooter rear shields you get those. Mag Ride, which gives you your adjustable suspension. Rear view camera, which helps you stop crashing into stuff when you're parking. Heated steering wheel, surround view. Michelin tyres. Seems strange that, doesn't it, to put the tyres on the spec plate. It's a nice spec. I like the colour combination. Tan over black. Okay, first impressions in the cabin. Crazy to think that this is now the outgoing model. Obviously there's been a lot of pushback against the use of haptic touch and saying the whole kind of interface is just a little bit too convoluted, but once you get your phone paired to Apple CarPlay, which took 2 minutes, it was easy. You've then basically got like a big tablet in the centre. Yeah, it's compact, sporty little interior. The seats are quite firm. It's definitely not gone as comfortable as some of your big Grand Tourers like your Aston Martins and your Bentleys. The rear seats are a bit like a 911, unusable unless you've got very small children. So the sound of the engine is not quite what you'd expect really from a Ferrari. If you're used to Ferraris, Ferraris had an unmistakable sound. Not all that exciting. Start, stop. It's not quite right on a Ferrari, is it? We need to get this back, get it cleaned up, get it into Ferrari for a service, and hopefully, let's take a deposit on it and get it sold. Now here's something people forget. The Roma did sell, and it sold well, even while the purists were sharpening their knives. Despite what they thought, people were actually excited about this car, and people wanted it, and the reviews only back that up more. So what does this all mean? The Roma didn't just survive the criticism, it sold, it impressed, and it got people talking. Not just for what it lacked, because it isn't perfect, but for what it gave. That all-important Ferrari DNA. So, everything's controlled off this kind of tablet in the centre. It's a little bit frustrating that the climate control's all on touchscreen as well. And then you've got these haptic touch buttons on the steering wheel. It's a bit like any technology, you just need to spend a bit of time getting used to it. When you get above around about 3,000 revs, that V8 engine definitely comes alive. Yes, it's not a supercar, it's not a 488, it's not an F8, but it's over 600 brake horsepower. That's a seriously powerful engine for a little rear-wheel drive car. A lot of people see these as a bit more of a fashion icon than a out-and-out supercar or sports car. It's not built for the track, but 600 horsepower, it's kind of like 911 turbo sort of power, and going through the rear wheels, it's quite lively, it's quite exciting. A Grand Tourer is basically something that's more focused towards comfort for going on large tours, grand tours. This seems to sit somewhere in between sports car and GT car, a little bit like a 911 turbo, which is no bad thing because it means, yes, you get that sporty feel, but it's a lot more usable as a daily driver. Some of these new Ferraris, like the SF90 and the 12-cylinder, you're looking at 800,000 brake horsepower. They're very wide stance, they're big cars, they just feel a little bit too much to be using regularly in my opinion. Whereas this, I feel like you could definitely jump in it. This gives me more of a feel of maybe like an Aston Martin Vantage would, but you've got the prancing horse on the steering wheel, which just gives that, it's got that extra level of drama and theatre to it. I think anyone that gets behind the wheel of a Roma and drives it for some time will realise it is still an absolutely incredible car. A lot of the time people just want something negative to moan about. Negativity seems to sell better, doesn't it? That gets people talking, but the reality is you've got a 2+2 Ferrari. You pick up a Roma now for around about £130,000. To get a Ferrari that's under manufacturer warranty, still with a service pack on it, that's very usable like this, it's a relatively cheap car for a Ferrari. The Ferrari Roma is different. It doesn't shout, it doesn't scream for attention, it just arrives. And when it does, people tend to notice. Why? Because it is still a Ferrari. The proportions are perfect, the lines are clean, she's almost sculpted. A modern take on the classic Grand Tourers of 1960s. It feels timeless in a way that few modern cars do. But she's no slouch. Underneath, it's still got everything you want from a Ferrari. A twin-turbo V8 engine, over 600 horsepower, instant response, a sharp gearbox, and a soundtrack that, while not a V12, still reminds you exactly what badge is on the steering wheel. But what makes the Roma so special is the feeling. It's a Ferrari, yet comfortable. You can have fun on the winding country roads, and you can relax on a long journey. It's not intimidating, it's quite the opposite. It's inviting. It's the kind of Ferrari you'd actually want to drive every day, and that's the point. The Roma proves that you don't need the loudest, rawest Ferrari to have the full experience, because the presence is still there. The badge still means something, and the feeling it gives you, well, it's a Ferrari, and that should explain everything.
You know what I really like?
Caramel biscuits.